Play full game. Entering team select screen. The Buffalo Bills, the home team, are selected. Ready.
It's week 15 of the National Football League, and we'll be watching the dynamic Tyreek Hill. He's putting together one of the better seasons in league history. It's the Dolphins and the Bills, and it's coming up next.
Winter is just around the corner as you get a look at Highmark Stadium just south of Buffalo, New York. Today we've got an AFC East matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Dolphins in our ball game here. They're squaring off against a very tough unit to throw against.
And this is not one of the better passing offenses in the league to begin with, Brandon. And to illustrate that point, they're down near the bottom of the power ranking, so the focus is going to need to be on possession-type throws. Whether they're trying to use their running backs or tight ends a little bit more, the big thing is to make sure the quarterback gets it out of his hands quickly to his receivers, and they hope to gain an advantage that way.
Entering play call screen.
And we are underway in Buffalo. Takes it at the 7. He takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Now Tua Tagovailoa gets set to lead this Dolphins offense for the first time.
The secret to his game and his success, incredible chemistry with each and every one of the guys that catches passes with it. And not only does he ask them to stay after practice or meet it before practice, he actually demands it because he knows if they have that kind of chemistry built up, they're going to be hard to beat each and every ball game.
On plan, there are 8 player, there are 8 cat, on plan, play formation, play type, there are option, run. Inside handle, AHPA's power.
First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there.
Ready.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. They find some open field here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say, 200 plus?
AHPA's power.
So first and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 49-yard line. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. He'll take this to the 46. The numbers for McCaffrey last week, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary.
Inside zone is selected.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he'll be close to a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 39. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
On the set.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 46 yards rushing for him already. A terrific opening drive on the ground, and it's a first down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got the lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Up the gut, McCaffrey. Down to about the 22 here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The Dolphins at 12-1 now to start play. And I tell you, it has been a few months now since they've tasted defeat, and they are without question the hottest team in football.
And I'm really not sure who's going to beat them right now, because to me, they have to be the favorites to go all the way, because they're not just beating teams, they're dominating them. It's been fun to watch them play, not just in their winning, but how they're getting it done.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Again, they run again. It's McCaffrey. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Entering play call, AHPA's power.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. This is McCaffrey on the give. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call run fits. Everyone was in the right place.
Stretch, pass sprint HB flat, under corner post.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Play action, shotgun pass, standard pass, quick pass, Y stick.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. McKinnon here, it's complete. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. And a gain of 5. And that's going to make it 4th down. Solid catch there from him. He's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. But they also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes two to tango. They'll run for it. McCaffrey. And brought down, but the juke, the very nice juke, gives him the first down yardage there.
Almost feel sorry for the kicker here because you know he wants to go out there and contribute, but they keep saying stay on the bench. I think it's just simply a matter of a head coach saying I believe more in my guys with the football than sending you out there to kick it.
Well, he wants to make a big statement here on the opening drive, and a statement he's making. Now they've got it first and goal after that conversion. First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. McCaffrey will score. Touchdown, Miami. First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Entering play call, coach suggestions.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point.
Options, had empty selected.
And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game.
Play call, special teams. You have 6 options. Kickoff left is selected.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. A fairly short kick from the 14. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now the Buffalo offense ready to bring out their high-powered attack. And at the center of it all, of course, the rocket arm man in his 5th year out of Wyoming, Josh Allen.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win. And that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
There are 6 categories.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. To the air, Allen. And this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. Picked up by Xavier Howard.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things. But winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well, this defense for the Bills, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
2nd and 10 on a chilly, snowy December day, and I must say, I'm loving it. Kind of putting me in the holiday spirit. Charles hates it. He's giving me the evil eye, folks. 2 is throw here, taken in by Gesicki. They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. I think defensively, you're okay with that. Here the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
R1 button.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this will be down just inside the 30-yard line. So here come the Bills out for their 2nd drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ballgame.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 33 yards that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Throwing now is Allen. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
There are 6 categories.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys that we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Here's 2nd and a yard. Here's Allen. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Emmanuel Ogbah, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
And we all know how talented this guy is, who's calling the signals for him. But even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Allen. And he completes it to the tight end, Knox. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7.
Entering
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Only gets a yard, but it's enough to set him up 1st and goal.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
To throw, it's Allen. Touchdown, Bills! Dawson Knox, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bills are an extra point away now from moving out in front. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have. You absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the 2nd drive. They've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
And Tyler Bass on for the extra point attempt. Well, these may be an adventure this afternoon, but this one is good. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it culminates in a Bills touchdown. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Takes it at the 7. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
Play action pass. There are 6 Buffalo in the stretch.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the 1st.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
Wide drag wheel is selected.
Here we go. Ready?
Now Tua on the bootleg here. Rolling to his left. Open man left side is the tight end long.
Entering play call.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it's second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On second down, McCaffrey. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Stick. Threaten space at X slant. Jet touch pass. X slant.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Triangle
Here's
button.
Tua.
Triangle button. Cross button. Cross button.
On the sideline, did he keep his feet in bounds? They say yes. Great job, both feet in, first down. That's a third down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
It's a memorable snow games for championships in the NFL. 1948. Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Cardinals.
Well, the most famous one in my lifetime, I think, is got to be 0-1, right? Raiders, Patriots, to send the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
You had to go to the Super Bowl, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one people remember. But I also know this. In Miami, the
Entering
infamous
play
one,
call
the
with
snowplow game.
standard
In
pass.
New England, when they went out there and the Patriots had a guy come out and clear a spot on the field for their field goal kicker to kick the game winner.
Is that 82?
That was 82. And the Dolphins fans will never forget it.
Well, we're not seeing one of those famous games here, but it's fun to be in the snow nonetheless. On the jet sweep, here comes Waddle. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Defensively, they have that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Keep curls.
Now it's 2nd and 9. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. On the right side, open is Gesicki. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on third down.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Now Tua. And able to find Gesicki as tight end. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. 3rd and 4, he did just enough, and I mean just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. Don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
Entering play call, shotgun pass, error 6 cap, play hike, run. Pitch, Dolphins zone toss, outside, inside handoff, AHP ace power.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Dolphins are once again back in front. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, They should keep riding him the entire way of this game until the defense proves they can stop him. That's what I would call.
There are 8 formation. There are 8 categories. There are 8 play type. There are option, run, pass, quick pass, Y stick.
Mike McDaniel, no hesitation on his end. He's telling his offense to go for 2. Two are going to try and throw for it. And that is caught for the 2 points. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. A fairly short kick from the 14. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. Flush to it. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Emmanuel Ogbah. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score. Second quarter now in Buffalo. It's the Bills in control of the football as they've got it facing a 2nd and long situation. Now Allen. Finding Knox there, complete. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll get this out wide to Singletary. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it. But it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop him before he could get to the marker.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
On 4th down, Matt Ariza sent on to punt. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. It's taken to the 26. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He's in his zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
Two and now on first down. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
To throw again on second down. Tua. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. Tua finding Gesicki there for a Dolphin first.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Jet touch pass. Stick. D-slant.
On the ready.
Triangle button.
From midfield, here's Tua.
Square button.
This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Categories. You have 16 options. Y stick is play type, run. Inside handoff. There are some AHP ace power.
Come on, set.
McCaffrey able to avoid him at the 40. Not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
They haven't put together a job description for a middle linebacker. We would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take out blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. The Dolphins on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jordan Phillips able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it will be 4th down. They dialed up a 3rd and 1 blitz defensively. It worked.
Yeah, and a lot of people would think, hey, they thought pass and they guessed right. In a lot of cases, you bring the blitz just to mess up the blocking on a running play. Instead, in this situation, the run wasn't there. They just followed everything right back to the quarterback.
Cross drag. Mesh spot. Cross drag.
Okay, right.
Tua on 4th down.
R1 button.
Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And he will have a Dolphins first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. 11 yards for number 11. They only needed that 1 yard going for it on 4th. I got to be honest. I thought they were going to stay on the ground. They surprised me. Did they surprise you?
I'm with you on that one. I thought they'd find a way to create some type of a power run and try and pick up the first down. But they decided to keep the ball in the hands of the guy who could throw it. And it paid off.
Yeah, the decision paid off indeed.
AHP quick base.
So a big play there on 4th, and now 1st and 10 at the 30.
Triangle button.
Tua going to throw.
Square button.
They'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
I know they have halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
Entering play call, coach suggestions, error, plan, error, player, error, 8 cat, formation, error, play type, run. Inside handoff, AHP ace power.
Now they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. Here's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1 if people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Quick pass, error, Y stick.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Gets this one to Hill. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Who have 16 options. Y stick is selected. Jet pass FKs. Play type. They're special. RPO. Auction. Run. Inside. AHP ace power.
5 yards remain on 2nd down.
Ready.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
You'd hate to come all this way on a sustained drive like this and then have to settle for a field goal. So what a nice pickup on 3rd down. And now they're set up with 1st and goal.
Ready.
Looking to pass. Tua.
Square button. Triangle button.
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Not the 1st and goal play they drew up. Multiple defenders in to bring him down to the ground. The 1st and goal looked like things were set up nicely, and now all of a sudden on 2nd and goal, Charles, a big challenge ahead of them.
And you have to know when you're this close to the goal line, things are going to happen faster, so you've got to get the ball out quick. Not going to have much time in the pocket before the defenders bring pressure.
Entering play call, Y stick.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Tua sets up to pass it. Looking sideline, and he's going to have his man as he was able to walk the tightrope there for the completion. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
Yeah, a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love touchdown. Mike Gesicki, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions, and they're a PAT from going up 21-7.
Yeah, very impressive the way that they've moved the football. Full command of their playbook, full command of the way they wanted to attack.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 8 categories. You have 15 options. Pad attempt is selected.
Sanders on for the extra point. And he atones for his miss the first time around, as this one is up and good to extend their lead. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And it all concluded with a touchdown pass to the tight end, Mike Gesicki.
6 options. Kickoff left is selected.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From the 6. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Play action. Now it's Allen. And this one is incomplete.
Entering play call. Coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
They can't beat us, rock and roll, baby. Let's do this, man.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Allen to throw it. Nowhere to go. Here he lost the football. And a 1st and goal coming up here inside the 10-yard line. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, it pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach, all game long, all practice long, every meeting. Get the football. That's what they want.
Entering play call. Play run. Inside. AHPA's power.
The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal. If that's what you're looking for defensively, you'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or 2 in this situation.
AHPA's power.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line.
Ready, go.
Cross cutting.
Again, McCaffrey. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there. And it's 3rd down.
And that's what I like to see out of this defense. A little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that run.
Entering play call. Inside handoff. There are 7. Play high. Option. Run. Pass. Pass there twice to.
Okay, ready?
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Going to the air. Tagovailoa to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feed down complete. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Sanders' kick is good, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. And not much on this one. Takes it from the 21. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Bills ready to take over. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Meanwhile, Allen's throw going to be caught by Davis. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football and you can handle the nose tackle up front, and it may be a guard, you can slide up to the 2nd level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Singletary again. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Singletary is not going to advance very far. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Allen. He's got it. Touchdown, Bills. Jamison Crowder from 4 yards out. And the Bills are able to cut into that deficit. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that was good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
Here's Bass now for the extra point. It's up and good, so they claw back into it. 24-14 now. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's finished off by the touchdown by Stephon Diggs. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Igbenogany elects not to return it. The football will come out to the 25-yard line. Miami's offense set and ready to go. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Ready.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
That felt like a trap, because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They never went crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Run, pass. Go pass, there. Hail Mary. Screen pass. Play action pass. Shotgun pass. Keep curls. Dagger. Bench switch. Dolph. Entering. Connection lost. Pop-up. You have lost your connection to the EA servers. You will be unable to access any online features until you sign into the EA servers again. CEA.com/enable to. Entering. Pop-up. Resume. Entering. Pop-up. Resume.
Welcome back in, everyone, to EA Sports coverage of the NFL. It's the Dolphins in possession of football as we rejoin the action in quarter number 2.
Inside zone, D-hook. Power out. D-hook. Inside zone.
Ready, set.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Tua. Fighting through pressure.
Cross button.
Shakes off the sag.
Triangle button.
And this is incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and get the football right back, because your friend earned momentum. He's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
There are 8 category formation. Play type, pass, special, pass, quick pass, there are 6, standard pass, shotgun pass, keep curls.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. That's going to be caught by Waddle. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 8 categories. You have 12 options. Punt is selected.
Now the veteran Thomas Morstead on to punt it away. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. And this will be down just on the other side of midfield. The Bills offense now, they get set to head back on the field. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, playing the same tempo, the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Allen now on 1st down. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
Allen off the play fake. Pass delivered successfully to Knox on the out route. Over 70 yards receiving now for him in his first half alone, as he's got a first down on that last catch.
Now how about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Allen. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. So the shotgun snap to Allen. It's caught by Davis. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. And even 30 yards on a play that began back at the 30.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They run here with Singletary, and this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. Again, it'll be Singletary. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
The Miami defense trying to keep him out. They haven't let him in yet. Can they hold again here on 3rd and goal?
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
They'll look to run with Singletary. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
With the way things have gone in this game, I think they've got to consider going for it here. I realize it's just the 2nd quarter, so they're not panicking, but they need something to give them positive momentum to get things
play
going.
Call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So on 4th down, out is Tyler Bass in the Buffalo field goal unit. This a chip shot, a 20-yarder. The kick by Bass is good. And this is back down to a 7-point game. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Option is set to shotgun pass 105 plays. You have coach suggestion, AHP inside, AHP base, AHP power hope, AHP base.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Tackled on the play by Kyer Elam. So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. Good games all over the screen there, one being at MetLife Stadium. A big one for the Jets as they get set to do battle with the Detroit Lions. Then later, they'll let the sun die down a bit in Tampa. A late start here in Florida, where it'll be the Buccaneers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Then on Sunday night, this one will be very interesting. The Patriots head west to take on their former offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, and the Las Vegas Raiders. With that, let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Miami. And they've had some success on the ground. And with the lead going into the second half, they'll no doubt be looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, for the Bills, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break. With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Yeah, Coach, certainly no shortage of action in those first two quarters. Definitely got to work on my touchdown calls, so we'll see how much voice I have left for the second half here. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. Taken from about the 12. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. But the Bills offense set to take over to begin quarter number 3. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. That one is going to sting. First play of the third quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this third quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Play call,
crucial.
Code, on plan, there are 8 player, there are 8 category, formation, play type, there are run, pass, shotgun, keep curls.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. After the turnover, it's Tua. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, And then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Entering play call, shotgun pass, there are 6 categories. Play type, there, run. Pitch, there are 7 categories. Outside, inside handoff. AHP ace power.
Ready up.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
That's a really nice play. Be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain.
Coach suggests AHP ISO.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. 103 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
Unplanned, there are player, there are 8 categories. Formation, there are 8. Play type, there are 8 categories. Pass. With pass, there are 6 categories. Y stick.
Got it.
Cross button.
Now Tua.
R1 button.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Tyreek Hill, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Dolphins go up by 2 touchdowns. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far.
Entering play call, special teams, we have 6 options. Kickoff left is selected.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Taken from about the 12. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. This offense back out and set to go for their next drive. This offense trying to change the script here a little bit. CD trailing on the scoreboard, and the last time out on the very first play of the drive, they threw that interception.
And you definitely saw his coaches, teammates come over to him on the sideline, tried to help him shake it off, because in this game, his team is down right now. So it's important to make sure you get some confidence back for both the quarterback and the entire offense. Otherwise, those mistakes could continue to pile up.
On first down, Allen. He'll get this to Devin Singletary out of the backfield. And he is going to lose yardage here. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Allen, it's complete to Diggs. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. And, Charles, you think about what this defense has had to prepare for. They're in for a battle. I mean, they're facing a team that is working on a 6-game winning streak.
And that can be intimidating when you think about it in those terms. But I think what they need to do is make some sort of a statement early in this game, whether it's a turnover, a takeaway, a key sack on 3rd down, a 3-and-out. Something that lets the other guys know that you mean business. Figuratively, throw the first punch and make it a good one.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Allen. And that is incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
The Bills send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Oh, now it's free. Hill fumbled it. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punch coming in, I have a return punch, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not. But sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to make sure, number one, though, you catch the ball and put it away.
They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the 1st half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. A play fake to Singletary, and now it's Allen. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Emmanuel Ogbah. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Allen hit. He lost the football.
The quarterback taken down and sacked.
Offensively lucky they are able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
There are 6 categories.
The Bills send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Watch out for Hill on the return. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Dolphins drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The tackle is made by Micah Hyde.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 114 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
How about that run? Picks up a first down. Note the enthusiasm in my voice. Remember, last week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I think he's trying to get another one in forward.
And you talked, watching film, a lot about his form and just hitting the hole, running north and south, as we like to say. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently.
Squaring those shoulders and getting downhill.
Let's go now. Go.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Up the gut, McCaffrey. He'll get a yard. That's all as they get him down at the 28.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And able to find Gesicki as tight end. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. A big play that time on the catch and run. And the Dolphins are going to get a fresh set of downs.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design,
entering
execution.
Play ball, keep curls. Play special. RPA, option. Run. Pitch, Dolphins zone toss. Outside, inside hand, AHP ace power.
So first and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 45-yard line. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he'll get what he can up the middle. 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
And the big fella stepped that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Let's go, thing. Let's do it, baby.
Play tight, there are option, run, pass. Quick pass, there are standard pass, shotgun pass, keep curls.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4.
Cross button.
Tua going to throw.
Button.
He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. He's going to pick up the first down and then some. And he's got a first down as a tackle made at the Bills' 12-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. And the Dolphins are going to get a fresh set of downs.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Entering play call, shotgun, play type, run, pass, run. Dolphins zone toss, out, QB run. Inside, FB run. Draw.
On the double.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
R1 button.
Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
QB run. Inside handoff. AHP ace power.
From the 4, it's 2nd and a couple.
Plus button.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft,
Entering
and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Power.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3.
Cross button.
This is McCaffrey. Oh, look at the juke. And he's going to bowl his way into the end zone for the Dolphins score. Christian McCaffrey, a 6-yard touchdown run as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Well, they were looking to pick up the first down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 8 categories. You have 3
Mike
options.
McDaniel, no hesitation on his end. He's telling his offense to go for 2.
R1 button.
2 are going to try and throw for it. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational. You have to know your team. Where is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in 2-point conversion. But they still have to take the running is a bonus deficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Taken from about the 12. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Buffalo offense back out ready to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Throwing to start the drive. Allen, and his throw here is incomplete. These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the Bills winning on the road, so they look for the sweep here in Buffalo. We're in the 3rd quarter in upstate New York with a 2nd and 10. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. This one caught by Davis. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
There are 6 categories.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 5.
From the gun, it's Allen. It's complete. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half. And down 3 scores, a lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
That reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out too well either. Too many mistakes by both of us. I mean, that's just pure and simple. And that's why that's exactly where they are in this ball game. They're going to need a huge turnaround if they want to try and win this one.
We have 5 options. Run is option. Run. Inside AHP Ace Power.
Coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. Now a run with McCaffrey. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Throw on. Counter. Pitch. Counter.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. McCaffrey on the counter. And some room to roam now. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 151 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Entering play call. Counter weak. AHD counter WK. CNTR double AHD counter weak.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Cross button.
McCaffrey. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature in the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Play action pass. There's shotgun pass. Keep curls.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Entering play call, keep curls.
On the ready.
Cross button.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki down inside the 10. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
That's a good effort there after the catch. He looked the ball in and then tried to get it to the goal line. What a nice tackle to get him down. But they're set up well now. 1st and goal at the 1.
We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
R1 button.
Tua sets up to pass it. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
The 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air looking for more points. Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who.
He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to, because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll increase their lead to 28.
Entering play call, special teams. You have 6 options. Kickoff left is selected.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there at 4 yards. Down come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Well, the current playoff picture, you can see they are one of those 3 wildcard teams, at least for the moment, but they have not clinched that spot, Charles. And look, their message has been clear. We're keeping our foot on the gas to the very end.
And how about the theater and the drama that's involved, partner? The best part, we've got a front row seat to it all. And I think this is obviously the ultimate goal when they added a 7th seed to the playoffs back in 2020. More drama, more teams in it late in the season, and more importance on games like this.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
That incompletion brings us one step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now Allen. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try to throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
The Bills on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. To throw, it's Allen. And that is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
One final try here for Allen. Pass caught. It's Davis on the crossing route. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I looked down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Allen now on first down. Quick toss to Knox. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll make it second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Working with a 2nd and 3. To the air, Allen. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Here's Allen. On the slant, he's got Davis. And he is going to have the Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Allen to throw once more. That is complete downfield to Knox. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Allen going to give this one to Singletary. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Allen going to throw. Works right side into the hands of the tight end, Knox. Following the play now, they're going to stop the clock here as a man is shaken up. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
Allen now looks to throw. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. Only a yard to completion. It's 2nd and goal.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now Allen. Dancing to his left. He will find Diggs in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bills get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 6 categories.
Tyler Bass now for the point after. And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. That will end the books as a 12-play drive. And it's finished off by the touchdown by Stephon Diggs. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Igbenogany elects not to return it. The football will come out to the 25-yard line. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now.
Here we go.
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive.
Ready, go.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. This O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because we were grading them on their performance in this game. A lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
The false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15.
All right, go.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 163 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. That was huge after being behind the chains on first down to make this second very manageable.
Yeah, how much pride do you have in an offense on first down to get that kind of yardage? Because it actually opens up your playbook on second down. You can run it, you can throw it, you keep a defense off balance. I like that phrase, stand ahead of the chains, and they're doing exactly that.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Entering play call in AHPA's power.
Okay, right.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Cross button.
Here's McCaffrey, and he can only manage to get a couple. Second and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On second down, McCaffrey. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point in the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Let's go, fellas.
Ready, ready.
Cross cutting.
Shotgun handoff down to McCaffrey. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Here we go.
2nd and 8. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And for one of the few times here today, this one's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park.
Entering play call, coach suggestion, gun plan. There are 8 categories. Throw it, medium is selected. Player, there are 8. Formation, there. Play type, there. Pass, special, pass. Quick pass, standard pass, shotgun pass, keep curls.
Set, ready.
They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. He is going to find Hill here. And he will have a Dolphins first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there.
Entering play call, shotgun pass. There are 6 categories. You have 1 of 5 options. Slants to select. Play type, there. Run. Pitch, outside hand, inside hand. QB run. FD run. Draw.
So the 4th down conversion has him inside the 40 now, 1st and 10.
Cross-cutting.
From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down.
Now that's mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
Ready, set.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground.
Yeah, maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line.
A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
7 AHD's power.
Let's go.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. Oh, and fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park.
Entering play call, AHPA's power.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
They're a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now.
Entering play call, AHPA's power.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Let's go, baby. Turn it up.
Ready up.
Third down, here's McCaffrey. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins are on their way to a 13th win on the year as they add on to their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Entering play call, coach suggestions. There are 8 categories. You have 15 options.
Sanders now to add the extra point. Now, these have been no picnic for him so far. He's missed 2, but this one is good. That one was an extended drive. 14 plays all told. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From just inside the 20, a short kick. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. This has been frustrating for them to this point. They have not looked the same as they did coming in, riding that impressive 6-game win streak.
There are 6 categories.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. So the shotgun snap to Allen. Quick slant to Crowder. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a 1st down. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a 1st down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
Let's do it.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Escaping the pressure right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. Well, I kind of got to give him credit. Another incompletion there, yes, but he's still trying to make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's been hemmed in for much of the game. How about him getting outside there? And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He's not giving up on this game, so every other player on the field has to say to himself, I can't give up either.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Allen, they'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
The Bills on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing now is Allen. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, not at all. He came off of that guy, the deep guy. He came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Singletary. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now.
That's what it is. That's what.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Here's Allen to throw it. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him. And I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills. And that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills. But they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
Entering play call, play type. There are 8 categories. There are 7 subcategories. Option set to inside handoff 60. Yes. Special. RPO. Option. Run. Inside hand. AHP ace power.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 42. They'll try and burn some clock now with McCaffrey. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a 1st down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Let's go.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
That's what it is. That's what.
Cut it.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Cross button.
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey.
R2 button.
Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down.
Brandon, every great running backs coach
Entering
I've talked
play
with
call
has always
inside
talked about
handoff. There
when
are
you have
7
great vision,
categories.
you're not
AHPA's
consciously
power.
thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Dolphins, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Bills, they'll drop to 10-4 on the year. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears.